to, let's get this thing going. Get this thing going. So happy like day before Valentine's Day. And oh yeah, I got lots of cards that came in the mail. And in this batch is the card from Deborah. And I know there's a couple more cards I think got delivered. Got put in the mailbox today maybe, or it'll be tomorrow, one of the two. But but yeah, I have no plans of really going out anywhere tomorrow because we're supposed to be getting like some heavy rain throughout the day. So I will be staying in and I will be, let's see, getting a couple of birthday cards done. I will also be working on PDFs, not only from last Friday, but for tonight's as well. Um, and then maybe do some other crafting that's not card related. So last Saturday, it was a crazy day. We had gone out to the store. There was some things we needed to get. Came back here, had dinner. I had like 24 like cellophane treat packages to do for Valentine's Day and do little mini cards to put in those packages because they needed to go to church the next day because there are like three different organizations that they donate these little treats and things to. And so I had to get that done. And so it was a pretty late night getting that stuff done. And my assistant, Yvonne, who happens to be sitting right over there, um, just like diligently watercoloring some flowers for some cards. And so she helped with the cards and stuff. So, uh, yeah, so I got that done. Very little sleep. Come Sunday, got up early, took a shower, went to church. After I got done with that, I got back home about 2:30. There's no judging here. Once I did get back, yes, I took down all of the Christmas stuff. Like, yes, my tree was still up. Usually I'll say I'll keep it up until my birthday. But sometimes, usually when it comes to about the middle of January, that's when I'll take it down because it's like, okay, I need to kind of put things back together again, to rearrange things. So yeah, on Sunday when I got back here, I took care of the outside lights. I put back up my white patio lights, and the tree came down and all that. By the time I got done, it was like 10 o'clock at night after I got done cleaning everything up. And I was exhausted after doing all of that. So that's all done. And so, yeah, so I think when it comes to this weekend, that's pretty much kind of like what I'm going to do. I'm going to take care of the cards I have to make. I'm going to take care of these PDFs and the cards that whoever wins tonight, those cards, and just kind of get ahead of the game. And what is it on Thursday? So next Thursday, when I do my Throwback Thursday video, I'm going to use the Darling Dinos bundle. I was actually going to use that, like last year, when I did the Thursday with that one was a Dino Roar, I think it was. And I was going to do this as a Friday. However, one part of it was on back order, so it didn't work out at that point. But now it's on the last chance. And I think on this, is it the stamp set or if it's the dies, one of the two um, is like, well, they're both retiring, I think, but I can't remember which is still in stock, what's not. But I'm going to be doing that Thursday. And then next Friday, I'm going to be, well, we're close to the end of February. So I am going to be using something that is going to go live to everybody in March. So it was part of the March online exclusives. And that is the Garden Poetry Suite. So that's the one If you're a demo, we can pre-order at the moment. It's the one that has like those bright, I want to say kind of like primary colors to it. And so, yeah, I'm going to be working with that for next Friday. What else? What else? What else? Um, there's some housekeeping things that I will like show when we go and when I go and flip this. So let me just take a quick peek in the chat. So of course Yvonne's here. Like I said, Yvonne is like sitting right over there. And let's see, and Terry's here. And I will say, if there are people that have like this phobia about Friday the 13th, you know what? I find that Friday the 13th isn't a bad day. Well, I can tell you it wasn't a bad day today because um, last night I kind of pulled things out to work on the projects for tonight. I had everything pulled out, but I didn't even assemble it. I kind of got a bit tired. And so today I kind of kicked them out. And you'll see that these cards are not difficult. I really utilized the designer series paper. And then in this designer series paper, it's considered specialty because there are like 2 sheets in there that have these printed punch outs in it. So the cards are cute and they were quick to put together. So yeah, so we should have a live that won't go as long as it normally does. Um, so so it wasn't no bad luck today. Everything worked out good. Um, yeah, there's Ivana making cards during her live, but I will be watching too. Yeah, she can't doze off because I got a straight line thing and I told her she gets smart. I got these things like sitting right here in front of me. So,
No delayed laugh anymore.
huh?
No delayed laugh because I'm
No
here.
delayed laugh. Nope. Well, if you're watching the video, there's always going to be like a 7-second delay, maybe a little bit more. So we got, of course, um, Yvonne and Terry and Tracy and Becky. Let's see. And who else we got here? We got Carol. Who else? Oh yeah, Froggy's here. Yeah, I was wondering where's Froggy. Froggy's usually one of the first ones on here. Um, and Deborah. And so I do have yeah, you know what? That whole phobia that Friday the 13th is a bad luck day. I have found that more good things happen on Friday the 13th than, any of the other days. So, ooh, Deborah had definitely had a good day. Yum yum, she got crumble cookies. Yay. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I am going to flip this, and there are some housekeeping things, and I'll kind of go through those because there's really not much that has changed since last week. And then I am also going to show you the cards that came in the mail. So there's a pretty big stack of cards sitting over here. And one of the cards in there is from Deborah. So I'll bring those in. So let me go ahead and let me flip this. And don't mind the stuff that's all on top of this Calyx unit. Oh yeah, speaking of Calyx and IKEA. So, this past week, they have announced that they are closing the IKEA here in Memphis. And I will tell you, I am not happy about it because I love IKEA Now, let's see, the closest one was in May 3rd, I think they said is when they're going to be closing this one. And now the closest one's going to be in St. Louis. I am not driving all the way to St. Louis to go to a Hobby Lobby. Not Hobby Lobby, but an IKEA. So now it's going to be a matter of kind of like what I did with a lot of this furniture in here because, I don't have a truck and because, it's kind of just me. I actually spent a little bit more to have them deliver and bring it into my apartment. So, going forward, I mean, I don't have any more room for furniture or anything big. So, down the road, whenever I need something, I'm just going to have to go the route of having it delivered. So, evidently, there was some kind of tax incentive thing that Shelby County had. No, Nashville does not. No, Nashville does not have an actual IKEA. What they have is a pickup location, and that's all it is. It's not an actual physical store. So, yeah, Nashville would be okay. However, no, this one here in Memphis was the only one that was in Tennessee. So, um, yeah, and evidently there was something having to do with like some kind of tax incentive, and I think this year towards the end of the year it was going to be like 10 years. And so I don't know what the deal is, but now it's like they're going to be closing May 3rd. And so those people that are working there, they're going to have the option of relocating to one of the other stores because there's not going to be one nearby, or they'll end up taking severance. So, yeah, not too thrilled or happy about that because I love that store. I love walking through that store because they always have some really cool, interesting things. And I really love like the kitchen, gadgets and things like that. So yeah, that's kind of like the bad news that ended up hearing. Yeah, that's the bad news that we ended up hearing for here this past week. And again, not. Yeah, and you know what? That too, Terry. So here's the crazy thing about it. Last year they remodeled the store. Now you think about it, the store what, 10 years ago? But last year they kind of did a little bit of remodeling to it, and evidently, they said that I think since July of last year, in the center of the store is where they have like the restaurant, where you can get the Swedish meatballs and all that. And evidently, they said that that's been closed since July. But they have this little area when you first walk into the store where there was like some bit of food that was there that you can get. But yeah, I've bought the bags of the frozen meatballs. I'm thinking I think we need a trip to IKEA like before
Yes.
May, or just a couple of times before they actually close, because yes, I mean they have different meatballs. They had the veggie meatballs, they had chicken, and they had the beef or the Swedish one. And yeah, we got to make a trip there definitely a few more times before they end up closing. So, with that, bonus days, we are now in the redemption time frame. So, from now through the 28th, this is where you can redeem those coupon codes. Um, if you didn't use all of them in an order since February 3rd, you can you could split them up. You can use some, in one order, some in another. But you do need to redeem them by February 28th, because after that, then any coupon codes that you had left, you basically have forfeited those. There is another class. Let's see. Yeah, Sharon, the IKEA stores, it's kind of like a maze to go through, but definitely they have some they do have some cool and interesting things in there. And every once in a while I like to go in there just to kind of walk around and see what else they have. But yeah, when you, especially with me, I don't have like a truck, and it's really, I'm not saying that I wouldn't have help if I ended up purchasing stuff to get it back here, but I can tell you the Calyx unit, which was just like, the 2 by 4 cubes, that became my coffee bar. And that bot is weird because the box with the stuff in it is heavy. Yet I put that thing together and I was able to pick it up on my own and place it on top of, there's a stand that you can lift it up off of the floor. And I ended up picking that thing up all by myself. As a matter of fact, this big beast that's right behind me, there was nothing really in this room. The whole center of the room was empty. And I put that thing together and I did not lift it, but I was able to kind of lift it on the one end and get it standing up. And then I just kind of pushed it right up against this wall. And then after the fact, the drawer units, the door units, those I ended up doing after this was in place. So it's really weird that, that the boxes are extremely heavy, but after you put the stuff together, it doesn't feel that heavy. So it's really, really weird. Um, yeah, and you know what? Yeah, I agree, Sharon. Look at this one over here. You have a friend with a truck. I wasn't also going to put you two through having to lug this stuff in either. So no, yeah, I saved this all. I think I ended up paying like $69 at the time to get it, to have them literally show up with it. And they brought it in and they put it in the one room, actually the spare room, because this was before the bed got set up. And yeah, then from there, I took the time, to put everything together. And yeah, so now if I buy anything that's, like say if I eventually at some point, whenever I get into a house where I have a bigger room, I would really like to get another one of these big Calyx units. So yeah, I would have really no choice in the matter than to have them ship it. And to me, it's like, okay, I had the money to do that. And to me, it was well worth it because I didn't have to go through the struggles of loading it into a truck and then lugging it from the truck into the apartment. So it all worked out. I'm just going to really, really going to miss going into that store because I really, really love that store. Okay, so Lovely Blossoms craft class, they're going to do this. This is going to be next week on Thursday, February 19th at 2 p.m. Mountain Time. The item number for this is 170929. Here in the US, the class is 25. So it seems like it came down a little bit because I believe the other classes were $30 and it's 35 in Canada. The suite for the Lovely Blossoms, it's not included in this price. Um, Again, that's separate. If you want to do the class, just basically for like maybe the layouts and all that, you can use something that you already have if you don't have the suite. And even if it's after February 19th, you can still get the class. It's done in a private Facebook group. And so you can you'll get access to that. And I think what they do is I think they take the videos that they have done or the one video that they have done and they I forgot my hair clip. Oh, assistant, could you do me a favor? So on my dresser, that little tray that's on top in the middle there, you'll see like towards the front that one clip. Yeah, I need that hair clip. because now it's like I'm feeling a little warm. Thank you. So yeah, I was looking right at it and meant to grab it, and I didn't. So even though the class may pass, you can still purchase the class. I think not YouTube, but Facebook has this thing that if you do videos, I think it's there for 30 days, and after 30 days, they kind of delete it. So what I have read or seen on comments on Facebook is that they will then make it an unlisted video over on YouTube. So those that have, and then they'll have the link for it in that Facebook group. So then that way you have access to the videos and everything else regarding the class. Last chance products list. This was updated at the beginning of this month. And I made the comment that I was surprised that the brushed brass butterflies were on there. I am really surprised because last night I took a peek at it and they weren't even on low inventory. Of course, I had to ask Andrea how many of those packages she bought because I figured she'd probably buy them all out. So, but yet they're still out there. They're not on low inventory as far as I know like I said, it was last night when I saw it, but yeah, there's a few other items that are out there as well. Another month, another product of the month. So for the month of February, it is the Painted Illusions 12 by 12 designer series paper. And as a matter of fact, I happen to have this paper. It showed up, I picked it up, was it yesterday or the day before? I forget. It's pretty bad when I can't even remember a day or two ago. It's really bad. All right. So, I think it was Wednesday. So let's take a peek at this paper because I have not even opened it up yet. So kind of like it has this watercolor type of design to it. So you're getting 3 each. Was it 3 each of 4 designs? So there is one side of it. There's the other. And your blues and your greens. And then you have what looks like mermaid scales. Like this one. I actually have a punch that's that shape from way back when. I think that I even have the stamp set too that has that kind of design to it. One with some, I guess, leaves on it. And this is the last pattern. So there's 4 different double-sided patterns on here. Oh, there you go, Terry. There's your blue. There's your boyfriend. So this is the product of the month for February. And let me turn this around. So you have Darling Duckling, Flirty Flamingo, Granny Apple Green, Lost Lagoon, Misty Moonlight, Petal Pink, and Pretty Peacock in here. So again, this is for February. And remarkably enough, let me find a place to put this. We still have the product of the month from last month, which is the fabulous Say and Stamp set. So if you had not gotten this one yet, with your $75 qualifying order, you can still get that if you hadn't gotten it yet. And the same thing with the December True Blue Florals Designer Series paper. If you didn't get that either, that is also still available. Paper Pumpkin, we are now in a new subscription month. So mine was shipped. I don't know what day mine's going to show up. So when it does, there's going to be a video when I receive it. This one, and that's the one that's going to coordinate with, was it Celebrate Spring? And it's going to coordinate with that Easter suite that is in the mini catalog. Then we have Fluttering Garden. As you can see, it's going to be about hummingbirds. That's going to be the March kit. And in the March kit, it's also going to include a free additional stamp set with it as well. So the subscription period for this is, it opened up on February 11th. It'll go through March 10th. And if you are a subscriber, you can also get the coordinating add-on dies for the January, February, and March kits. The item number for this is 168666, and the cost here in the US is 13. And again, you do need to be a subscriber in order to get these. And again, you don't need the dies to complete the projects in the kit. These are just if you want to do some extra alternative type of things that just coordinate with those kits. And then there's the one last thing is that Stampin' Up! Has an exclusive joint offer going on from February 3rd through March 2nd. So when you purchase the starter kit, you will get the new Stampin' Positioner in your kit for free. And I had shown this before, so you have your thing. Now, there is grid paper that goes with this. However, the grid paper is not available in it won't be in the starter kit. Stampin' Up! Is going to make this available at a later time. And so at that point, you can get the grid paper. This, when demonstrators were able to pre-order this, here in the US, it was $49. And then there was some grid paper, 8x10 size, 50 double-sided sheets of grid paper for 15. And this is one of the sheets I have on here. So it's got the little tiny pegs there that you can put the paper down on to protect your surface. So I used this in one video that I did. I think it was a Thursday video. But yeah, so that is free in the starter kit. You don't have to add it. It's automatically added. The starter kit, the price here in the US is $99 plus tax. The shipping is free. You get to choose $125 of product of your choosing. And again, the stamp positioner tool will automatically be added to your starter kit. Again, this tool will end up being available for everybody to purchase, but the Stampin' Up! Hasn't said exactly when that's going to be. I mean, clearly they're not going to offer it for sale, during the time that they are offering this for free. So, but yeah, so kind of cool tool, pretty simple and easy to use. So, yeah, so there's that. Okay, cards. We're going to whip through these cards pretty quick because there's quite a bit. Oh, wait, nope, not that one. Yeah, so there's a whole, this is a whole nother stack. This is not including what I had already had shown. So I like this. This is that new stamp set that I do have it. I have not used it yet. What's cool about it, you got the lines where you can write the address on, and then you got some decorative elements, like you got balloons. There was even something for like fall, and there was something for Christmas. So very cool stamp set. Came from Cleveland, Ohio, my old stomping grounds. And I actually have this set that she used. I really like them. And there are those brush press butterflies. And then a lot of them had did the little insert to just basically say that, that they made the card, and of course you can reuse the card and send it out if you want to. Um, I don't know if I have my thoughts about, because usually, when I make cards, I'm like personalizing them. And so to use somebody else's card to send to somebody, then, yeah. So another one that had a little note in it. Very pretty, lots of yellow. This was from another Carla. Yeah, her name's Carla too. And again, a lot of these are the Sending Sunshine and Rainbows group that Dina had put together back in 2020. And so there is a random act of kindness group where, you can send cards to each other, send birthday cards and all that. So that's where a lot of these come from. This one is from Charlotte. Very cute. And then this one's from Gloria. So she kind of did like a Valentine birthday card. Yeah. I mean, I have like all of these what do you call it? All of these swap cards too from when I've gone to events and everything, and I don't even reuse them either. So, all right. So, we talk about a trip to Canada. Well, technically, not quite yet, but technically, within 45 days, I can because I'll have a real ID. But at some point, I do want to get a passport as well. So we got this card from Denise. This one is from Norma, and I remember this suite. I've used this, what was it, last year around Valentine's Day? And then I think the very first, was it my first Friday Night Live? I'm not sure, but I used the other one. This one is from Jamie, and I don't remember like what stamp set that is. There's so many that I cannot remember names of anything. I mean, I may even have this and I don't even know. That's how bad it is. Then we got this one. This one is from Deb. So she used the designer series paper. Yeah, that's the problem. I got so many cards that I ended up making that, oof. This one is from Margaret. So kind of cool. I don't know what paper that is. I don't even know if that was Stampin' Up! Paper or not. It's not looking familiar to me. This one is from Denise. I have that bundle. I even have that background stamp. Yep, see, like I said, a lot of them put little notes in there, so you, instead of writing, in the card. This one, using that bug set. I'm trying to get this whole suite. Right now, I got the ribbon. I got one package of the embellishments, and of course, they're already on back order again. I still need the paper and I still need the bundle. So at some point when I get it, then I'll be doing a live with that one. This one, she mentioned that that her oldest daughter lives in Spring Hill, Tennessee, which is, I think, on the other side of the state. And she was saying, I hope you're safe from the storm. Yeah, we didn't, well, we didn't get the ice. It kind of went to the east of us. Okay, this one, I got that plenty of that paper, and of course I got that. This is from Marie. So many stamps, so little time. And this one's from Karen. So I think this was an actual kit. And I can tell you, this is why I put postcards, you know, on the top of things, because this is what happened to the envelope when she had it in like this. And then the embellishments just poked right through the envelope when it went through the postal machine. But looking at the card being designed on the inside, I think this was a kit. But I didn't get this. But I do like the way they got the laser cut on that. And then there's like a little happy birthday sticker in there. And then got this one. I remember this one was a kit. This one is from Gloria. I think this was Gloria. Yep. And it's got that Blackberry Bliss in it. Love Blackberry Bliss. This one is from Maria. And I'm not familiar with the paper. Again, it could be Stampin' Up! Paper. I don't know. There's just too much stuff to you know, remember. Now this one, see who it's from? And of course you can't miss Cleveland, Ohio on there, right? But here is the card from Deborah. So it looks like you used that two-tone cardstock. So a very like simple layout, but very, very cool. I like that. Gonna have to give that little technique a try with that two-tone cardstock. And this one's from Carrie. So this paper, I remember this being from Celebration. I have a few packs of that paper. Have to really start doing something with this, because it's like I'm doing better on using designer series paper. I'm not hoarding it as bad as I was before, but yeah, there's a lot of paper here. Okay, so Berry Burst and Her Little Wish. So again, you can reuse the card. And this one is from Julie. This one's kind of neat too. I kind of like the way those colors go together. Looks like she used the two-tone cardstock on that. And then she embossed these flowers using the white embossing powder. Yeah, that's a lot. That's a lot. If you're mass producing that card, Deborah, that's a lot of squares. And then this one is from Shelly. And I remember this being a kit. I really like this kit only because like the blue and the yellow together. So I remember that. I don't even know if I finished all those cards or not. But I gotta, at some point, you know, pull out these kits and actually get them put together. This one is from Jennifer. So she kind of made like a shaker card. And basically she's got the cardstock embossed, and she's got a layer on there that she stamped on. And then she put it in one of the clear cellophane envelopes and then added some sequins in there. And I mean, it shakes a little bit, but yeah, it's another way to do a shaker card. And this one is from Sandy. This one is from another Julie. Lots of purple on this one. Lots of layers on it. And she says that I share that I share a birthday with her grandson who will be 2. Yeah, I'm far from being 2. Far from being 2. This one is from Joanne. Kind of like a quick and simple card. I don't know if I'm capable of doing a very simple card because I always have this thing that I want to add to it. This one I think was also a paper pumpkin kit. This is from Susan. And let's see. This one is from Gail. Little note. So she layered some different cardstocks and then she die cut it using that, was it Notes of Texture dies? So cute little card. You know, that's very interesting, Deborah. It's like, yeah, I don't know. I don't think I've had ones that texture notes. Okay. And it's on the last chance list. Yep. And I remember this paper. I don't think this was so, I don't know if this was so much as celebration paper, or maybe it was, and then the stamp set and the set of dies was like that additional product offering that they had during that time. But yeah, the paper I have, the stamp I got, stamp and dies, but yeah, very nice paper with excuse me, with the succulents. And then my last card, this is from my friend Martha in Georgia. So I remember this particular paper pumpkin kit. And I was telling Yvonne the other day, and there's a sweet little note in there. I was telling her the other day that I remember when I was living in the house and I was just kind of like testing things out. I think this was just after I got my Arkin stand that I went to film putting these cards together, and I wasn't saying anything because I think I was going to try doing the dubbing of it, the voiceover on it, and I got just about done, and then all of a sudden there was this moth that flew in, landed on my hand, and then I slapped my hand, and it's like, okay, well, that kind of messed up that video. So yeah, I remember I was using that particular kit to try my hand at doing a video. But yeah, so this is the stack of cards for this round. There are a couple that are at the post office, I think, maybe because they'll say that something's there one day, and then I'll go, and then there's nothing there. So let me put those aside where they're not going to fall over. And now let's go ahead and let's get into our projects. So again, I'm using the Hobbyhaven suite. So we have the Creative Haven photopolymer stamp set, which is basically mostly like these greetings. They are fairly large in size. And then there is the coordinating set of dies. Now, the one thing that I did notice is this particular die here, it's showing where it's more like of a rectangular shape with the rounded corners. However, it is not. It is actually an oval die. So this one right here, it's not more of a rectangular shape. It's actually oval. So you got your labels in here that will die cut those stamp greetings. So you can see the greetings are pretty big on these. I didn't use all of them. I did use like actually these 3 stamps right here because these will take up most of the card. I'm going to leave those out because I think I do need that to stamp my die cut pieces. So I'll leave that out. And then there is some ribbon. So this is the garden green and white chevron ribbon, and what is it? I think this is 1/8 of an inch wide, so very thin ribbon, so it does tie very nicely. And then these are the earthy matte dots. So you have, I think that's what, pecan pie. I think that's early espresso, cherry, either cherry cobbler or it's Cajun craze, because Cajun craze is in the paper. And then you have yeah, Lost Lagoon. So really nice. They're not too bulky. And then of course there is the designer series paper. So there's different themes in here. So you have kind of like your cooking and your baking. There is what else is in here? There is plants, and then you kind of like have a spa type of theme. And then there's books. And then, of course, they got to have it in. There's like 2 sheets that have punch outs in here. Now, this is a double pack, so I have like 4. And then, of course, you have some patterns that are more of like some crafty stuff. And in this paper, the colors are Basic Beige, Cajun Craze, Coastal Cabana, Daffodil Delight, Early Espresso, Garden Green, Lost Lagoon, Mossy Meadow, Pecan Pie, Petal Pink, and Secret Sea. So again, I really utilize the designer series paper on these projects. So let's bring in everything for our first card. So the first card is going to be geared around the plants and using Secret Sea. So my card base is Secret Sea, 8.5 by 5.5, scored at 4 1/4. I have a piece of basic white measuring 5 1/4 by 4. This is going to be for the inside of our card. I have a piece of Coastal Cabana. This measures 5 3/8 by 4 1/8. The hobbyhaven designer series paper. This measures 5 1/4 by 4. Out of a scrap piece of basic beige, this larger rectangular label, I die cut that out of basic beige. Then out of gold foil, there is this leaf image. This is the larger one. I die cut that. And then with the stylish shaped circles, I die cut the largest one out of some of the vellum paper. Okay, so I'm going to take my card base. I'm going to fold and burnish it. And let's see. Do that. And then I'll take my basic white and I'll put this on the inside. So I don't have like any greetings on the inside of these cards. So you can make it for whatever occasion, whether it's birthday or this particular one's going to say you're the best. So you can use it for, like any occasion. All right, then I'm going to take my designer series paper and add it to my Coastal Cabana, and then that whole piece will go on the front of the card. And there's just a little small border all the way around. It is kind of nice, all those colors together. It's kind of bright with your greens and Coastal Cabana and all that. You can probably throw in Summer Splash in this as well. That's what I originally thought the color was in here, because it seemed like kind of dark. But nope, it's Coastal Cabana. As Dina would say, it's the color that lets us know God loves us. Okay, so there is our card base. Then I'm going to bring in my my foam piercing mat. What's happening? Is YouTube being a pain to anyone else? Every time I go on YouTube, it changes where things are, even going on at separate times of day. I really haven't noticed anything, but I do not put it past them because they have changed some things up. Like, for example, all of your, I mean, I used to like see your names. Now I see what your YouTube profile name is. So yeah, they have a habit of changing things. And yeah, they used to have it under YouTube Studio. That's where I can, edit stuff that's in the description of the video. I can, add the pictures, and that's where I would also respond to like any comments on, the videos after the fact. And before, it would only show those comments that I did not respond to. However, now it's like it shows all of them, and I have to sort them by the newest. So then that way I can capture, everybody's comment and then respond in some way. And so, yeah, they change things up, and some things it's like, just leave it alone. Cause more and oh, the one thing that I noticed too that happens, so when I record, whether I record the video like in private mode or I go live, usually when I finish and I can publish it and it's everything's right there. Now when I get done, um what do you call it? Now it's like it'll say, oh, it will process in 24 hours. Now, as long as I take, like, say, this live, when I'm done, I do need to change it from private to public. And that way you can see it, you can watch it. But as far as like what they call their processing, it says that it takes 24 hours. And I'm like, yeah, well, I'm not waiting no 24 hours because frankly, the video was supposed to be done and posted, hours ago, especially if it's pre-recorded. My Thursday one, I I mean, it was fairly early when I did it, but here I got done with it and I started working on the stuff for tonight, and I totally forgot, oh yeah, you need to add the stuff and make it public. Yeah. Okay. So I'm going to stamp You're the Best in garden green. Okay. You're the best. And I'm going to stamp this right in the middle. Now it does look really dark when I stamp it, but this will dry lighter. Okay. And I put my finger in it. All right, so let me pull this out. Get this out of the way. All right, so I am going to take my label here. I'm going to place it over the top of my vellum circle and turn it over, and I'm going to add some adhesive to the back of this. By doing this, I am strategically making sure that the adhesive is going to be hidden behind this label. And then I am going to, so what I'm going to do on this one, I'm going to do this one just a little tiny bit differently. So on the other card, based on the direction that the chairs are going, I had put my label on this side, so I'll show you the card. So you'll see you got this one chair here. So I put this on this side, and you can see that how it's lighter. It'll dry to that same bit. So instead of putting it on this side, I'm going to put it on the other side, so then that way you're able to see that chair. So we'll put this kind of like in the mid, not quite the middle, but off to the right and right there. And then I'm going to take my, so now since this is going to go in this direction, I'm going to turn this to go this way. I'm going to add a little bit of adhesive right on this side. And this is going to hold, let me get this. And so I am going to take this, and let's see. And I want to kind of put this right behind that like so. And then I'm going to get some dimensionals. And we'll kind of hold that down. Okay. All right, so let's move that. And then I will place this right here. And then the ribbon. I'm going to tie a bow. So I think that's good. I'll make that side a little bit smaller. And then let me get my scissors. And I will trim this like so. And then bring in glue dots. Whoop, Terry not happy. She said she ordered a pizza over an hour ago. Yeah, she's not happy. She said, my kid is starving. They're taking the scenic route to get it to you. Okay, and then I'm just going to place my bow right over that little hole there at the top of that label. Then I'm going to bring in these embellishments, and for this one I'm going to use, see, I think that this is probably, I guess, like Cajun craze. I think I can do this really quick. Come on. Let me go to, see, they used to put the colors on the packaging, but they have stopped doing that. And so, yeah, I think even in the catalogs, it's like hit and miss if they got the colors listed in there. So this is 1, 6, 7, 2, 13. So when you go online, it does list all the colors in here. So in here, okay, that is Cajun Craze. And then you have Early Espresso, Lost Lagoon, and then Pecan Pie. But that actually looks more red to me, honestly. So that's the color that I am going to use. There's two different sizes on here. There's a larger and a smaller. And I'm going to use one of the largers and two of the small. And so I'm going to add this. Again, I'm doing it kind of opposite from the other card, the sample card that I made. And that's just basically because of the pattern on where they kind of have things situated on it. Even though I'm looking and I still got most of that chair kind of covered. But there we go. There is, get that unstuck. There is the first card. Again, let the paper do all of the work. Hello, Cynthia. Welcome, welcome. All right, let me get you guys back and get off of the Stampin' Up website. All right, so now the second card. So this was actually the first one that I had designed. Um, really like how this one came out. So this one's got a lot of the green, and we're using the pattern paper that's more of like your spa type items. So my card base is garden green, 8.5 by 5.5, scored at 4.25. I have a piece of basic white that measures 5.25 by 4. That's for our inside. I have a piece of that Hobbyhaven Specialty Designer Series paper. This measures 5 3/8 by 4 1/8, and that's got the baking and cooking stuff on the back of that. Then I used, this is the second largest perennial postage die, and I die cut. This is the pattern that has all the spa items on it. Um, Basic white scrap. I die cut this one label. Now, this particular label does not have the little slit in it. There is, I'll show you the dies really quick. So you can see that these already have the holes in them. But for your flat label here, your oval one, and then even this, you have these pieces that just fit right in there, and it'll either cut the slot out or a little hole. So yeah, you just place this right inside here, having it flush up against, not underneath, and then you just run it through your die cutting machine at the same time, so it'll die cut that little notch for you too as you're cutting out the label. Okay, so let's put those back in there. And let's get our stamp set on top because that sticks to everything. So I did that out of basic white. And then out of the sheets that have all the punch outs, I had punched out this little like ticket looking label. And then there is this whole grouping of all these different spa products. But what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to cut right here between this bottle and this tube because I'm only going to use these three. And then these I can use on something else. All right. Yeah, garden green. I like garden green. I look at garden green and I think, oh, that's Starbucks green. Or my pastor, he really likes the Green Bay Packers. I've actually done cards for him where I've used this and crushed curry together. So, yeah. This past one, I ended up using the barbecue master one, and there is like a sample card that's with the bundle, and I ended up making that, the one with the grill, and as it say, the outside is like happy birthday to the grill master, and then on the inside there's a stamp that says you're flipping awesome. So yeah, I ended up doing that. I had to do that last Saturday too. I had to get that done. And then there was like 2 other birthdays I needed to find cards that I had made. So yeah, it was a busy bit. It was very busy last weekend. So I'm kind of looking forward to just kind of taking a step back and chilling a little bit, And then Monday is a holiday for us, so don't have to worry about working. So that's nice. And then Tuesday, Thursday, and Friday I'm working from home, but Wednesday I'm driving to South Haven, and I don't want to because that means I gotta get up earlier, and yeah, I don't like driving there. I don't. Okay, so we have that designer series paper on there. Then I'm going to take this pattern, add some adhesive on this. I'm not popping this up. I'm just going to place it down. Make sure I got it straight. Now, these lines aren't straight, so trying to eyeball this is kind of hard. So I have to try and just go with the actual cardstock. So put that down. And then I'm going to take, let's see, our little ticket piece here, add some adhesive. And let's see, I'm going to place this like over here. So I just want to see where I'm going to put this. See, it looks crooked to me because that line's all crooked. I'm going to take this and I'm going to add this right here. Let's make sure it looks straight. It is very hard when you got all these lines that are not straight. Okay, and then for this piece, I'm not using the whole thing. So I'm going to trim between this bottle and this tube right here. Just go. It's hard trying to see this with when it's white on white. Okay, and then I'll just put this with the rest of it and use it for another project. Okay, and so I'm going to put some dimensionals on the back of this. Okay, and then I'll place these right here in the middle, make sure my card's straight, and add that right there. Okay, and then we're going to stamp our greeting on this piece. So let me get my Pierce mat. And I want my Secret C ink. And this one I am going to stamp using the one that says Deep Breath. And let's get a block. Yeah, we'll use this one. Okay, and then we'll ink it up. And I'm going to go pretty much near the bottom. So then that way I'm not stamping over that slit mark or that slit opening for the ribbon. So there's that. And then I'm going to bring in the ribbon. And let's see, I kind of do a double thing here. So let me kind of see where I'm at here. Do that. And then I'm going to cut to make it 2. And I'm going to put it together. Fold it in half. Want it together. Come on, get it together. Get it together, ribbon. Get it together. Okay, fold it in half. And then I'm going to go from the front towards the back. Kind of pull it through. And then these tails right here, I'm going to go right in the loop with them. And then pull it through. Kind of pull these so that way it's kind of tight like so. And then I'm going to trim. Well, actually, let me pop this up onto my card first, so then that way I know how much to trim off of there. So we'll add some dimensionals. So Terry says green is now her new boyfriend or side piece. So let's see, blue, then black, and now green. She's got quite a few boyfriends. All right, so now I want to take my label I'm going to come down a little bit like so. So it's hanging just underneath that designer series paper. Then I'm going to come in and I'm going to trim, kind of like at an angle, my ribbon, like so. And then turn it this way. Okay. Trim that one. And trim that one. Okay. Now for our embellishments. On this one, I'm going to use the pecan pie color. So let's see, we have our larger one. We'll add that down there. And then, let's see, we have one we'll put there and another up here. I don't think Hobbyhaven, let me just make sure, because this has been out for a little bit. I don't think that it's, what do you call it, on the last chance, but then you never know. Okay, so none of this is on last chance, so it's still good. That's sometimes I don't have it when it first comes out, and it's not until later that I end up doing something with it. So I'm glad to know that this is not on low inventory or anything like that. So there is our second card that kind of has that spa theme to it. So a little bit of an encouragement type of card. So that's our second one. Now let's do our last one. So our last one is I don't know if well, maybe I could say it's a fun fold. It's actually a pocket card. And the inspiration for this card came from my friend Barb Mulliken. And I needed to do something with, the crafting. And then, of course, there's the Coastal Cabana in there. And I love the Coastal Cabana color. So this one's a fun card. So I have a piece of the Hobbyhaven Designer Series paper. This is 10 by 4. And then when I did this, now you want to be mindful when you have a design that is a pattern design that is directional. So when I go to do my card, let's see, this part is going to fold up and then this part's going to fold down. So when I do my scoring, I want to make sure that what I did was I had it upside down. Well, no, I had it in this direction when I did it. So again, it's 10 by 4. It is scored at 5 1/4 and then at 9. Then I have a piece of Coastal Cabana. This is actually the base of our card. This is a quarter piece of 5 1/4 by 4 1/4. I have a piece of basic white that measures 4 3/4 by 3 1/2. I have a scrap piece of Calypso coral, and then I punched out a couple of pieces. There is this really cute sewing machine. There's a label here that's got the Coastal Cabana box with the white heart in it. Then there is a button. So there's like a couple of different sizes of buttons in there. And then this little pin cushion. Okay, so with this Calypso coral, I'm going to use my 2 3/8 inch circle punch. And I'm going to punch that out. And hopefully I got this to where I can. Yep, it worked. Got the whole circle. Okay. And then I am going to take my basic white piece here. And I want my Pierce mat. I want my Calypso coral ink. And then I'm going to use the greeting that says, "You deserve all the good things." So this is definitely a perfect card for your crafty friends. So we're going to take our ink, open that up. Now on this piece, I'm going to take this little label here and I'm going to staple it. So I'm just going to place that right there for a moment, just so I know where to put my greeting here. I want to make sure that I have it kind of centered. So I'm going to place this right here up near the top, like so. So you see that these cards, they're pretty quick to put together. So I think that is all the stamping on this one. Okay, put that aside. All right, so on here, I'm going to bring in, now you can just use a regular staple for this. Yes, the blue color is Coastal Cabana. If you're talking about this, yeah, that's Coastal Cabana. The other card I did, I also had used Secret Sea for that. All right, so this is one of those Stampin' Up! Had this stapler years ago. And what's different between this and a regular staple, the staples are not as wide. So I'm just going to take this label and I'm going to staple it on. You can glue it on if you want. You can use a regular staple. I know, like, this type of style stapler that I have seen it on Amazon. And of course, when this thing was going away, I ended up buying all these little tiny staples for it. I don't use this like near enough. I should, because I really do like it. All right, so now this is our insert. So we're going to set that aside. I'm going to take my designer series paper. Now again, yeah, I have it full. I have it scored at 5 1/4. That score is not very deep, so I want to make sure that this is straight. Okay. Score that. And then at 9 inches, the other score, I'm going to fold that down. This is going to kind of create our pocket. Now, for this part, let's see, I want to take, what do I want to do? I'm going to take a little bit of glue and I'm going to put it like right on, very close to the edge. I don't want to come in too far, because if I come in too far, then what's going to happen, my card is not going to slide in and out. So I want to just add a little bit along these outer edges. Now I'm doing it on the short side. I'm not doing it on the long side. I'll take that all the way to the end. And then we'll fold this over. And then we'll just press our sides. So this is going to create our pocket. Okay. And then we're going to take our seal, and then we're going to take this and we're going to put this on our quarter panel of cardstock. So again, 5 1/2 by 4 1/4. And I'll center that like so. Okay, and then I'm going to take some of, this is the basic beige classic ribbon. It's 3 inches, 3/8 of an inch wide. And I want a piece that's kind of long enough. I'm going to wrap it around this flap right here. So let me get my scissors. And I'm going to cut a piece, and then I'm going to cut another because I'm going to do a knot with that one. I'm not going to tie a bow. All right, put that in there. And then I'm going to take, let's see, kind of put this around. And I can use a little bit of Scotch tape on this. Okay. Put that, wrap that around. Add a piece of tape. Okay. And make sure that's centered. Okay, and then take this down. Like so. Okay, and then I'm going to take some glue and I'm going to glue down this flap. I'll add some glue there. Okay, and then I'll fold it over and then press it down. Like so. Okay, and then I'll kind of place that right there, and I'm going to take my other little piece here, and let's tuck this under. And hopefully I left enough for me to tie this and not struggle and shred it all apart. Pull that through. And kind of twist it. And we got that, and we're going to trim that. We'll trim that in a moment. All right, so now on this piece, I'm going to take my sewing machine and add some adhesive to this. And we'll put that right here in the center, like so. And then my little button, we'll add that right there. And then our little pin cushion here, we're going to put a dimensional on the back of that. You know, the orange, so the orange color that is in this, these are like all shades of Cajun Craze, but to me, I felt like some of these lighter parts, it does look like Calypso coral, and I thought the Calypso coral would go better with, you know, the brightness of Coastal Cabana. But it is Cajun Craze. That's just like these dots. They say that that color is Cajun Craze, but I don't know. To me, it looks like there's more red in it, so it almost looks like it's a cherry cobbler. Okay, and then my pin cushion, I'm going to stick that right there. Now, I'm going to take this piece, and I'm going to pop this up on top here, but I don't want to put it on the top of this because I don't want that to stick. So I'm going to add one down on the bottom here, and then I'm going to add, let's see, we're going to put this like so. So I want one like here, and then let's see, we'll put one right there, and I have one on the bottom, yeah, and then I'll put one kind of like in the middle of that. Let me take the paper off of that. And then this will go right. Let's see, move it over a little bit, like right there. Again, I don't think I have, nope, I don't have any sticking over that. I can take my knot here, I can slide it over a little bit. And now I'll trim my ends. So, and then my embellishments for this one, I'm going to use the Lost Lagoon color. Let me bring those in. We'll add one right here. We'll add one right there. And then our last one, if I can get it picked up, I'm going to add that one. Let's see. We'll add that one right up there. Okay, now let's go and take our little card insert and we will put that in like so. Now it is a little bit of a tight fit, but it will slide in there. So you can pull it out just a little bit depending on how high you put this and where you stamp that. So then that way you can see that greeting on there. So really, really cute. So this is kind of like my version of what Barb Mulliken had done. So let me now bring in all the cards. So again, pinned up at the top of the chat box is wow, these cards went together fairly quickly because I know it was like about 43 minutes when I first started putting the cards together. So they went together pretty quickly. So okay, so I'm going to tidy, well, no, I'm going to show you the cards that I made. So our final card was this pocket card. And we did it kind of like with the whole crafting and sewing and knitting and all that pattern of paper. And again, it is a little bit, to make it go in, slide in and out a little bit easier, you can trim this down just a little tiny bit. But you want to remember that when you go to glue this part to the paper to create the pocket, that you just want to do a very thin line of glue, not too much, as close to the edge as you can, so that way it holds it together. And again, it doesn't open up, it's just that flat piece. Now, if you wanted to, you can take this whole designer series paper layer and you can put it on an actual, you know, landscaped card. So not landscape, portrait mode. So you can put just this on top of an actual card, like so, card like this. And you can open it up and you can put stuff in it. So you can do that. You can do that option as well. The second card, we went with the spa theme, using the paper, definitely using a lot of the paper and the little punch outs that come in it. And it just very quick and easy and a very cute card that, you know, results out of this suite. And then we have this one kind of like with our plants and our chairs and all that. And you're the best. And we got a little bit of, we have the inside so you can put whatever it is you want. You can wish someone a happy birthday, you know, whatever you want to put in there. Okay, so what I'm going to do right now is I'm going to kind of tidy up this space so there is some room. If you would like to be in tonight's, if you want to be in tonight's card drawing, I do have the link for this Google spreadsheet. This is not the right cap to this. That's why it's not staying on there. I'm using the wrong one, and yeah, I'm gonna have to figure that out because I got a bunch of scissors, but for some reason, the caps to those scissors, I don't know, depending on when the scissors were made, they don't, some are loose and some are too tight. But anyway, what I'm going to do is I'm going to tidy up here so there's some space. Linked at the top of the chat box is the link to the spreadsheet, to the Google spreadsheet, if you would like to be in tonight's drawing. If you're having any problems whatsoever, just say something in the chat and somebody will be more than happy to get your name added to the spreadsheet. And again, next Friday, what am I using? I am using the Garden Poetry Suite. And then my throwback Thursday for next week is going to be the Darling Dinos. That's the one that Diana Gibbs, that was her $1 million Achiever stamp set. So I'm finally going to get to use that. So if you like dinosaurs, that's what my next Throwback Thursday video is going to be. All right, so let me put my stamps away really quick. And kind of look at the comments. So Froggy says her daughter sews her own clothes. Becky says the second one is her favorite. And Cynthia's going to watch the replay. Yeah, Cynthia, just know that when I stop the live, that give me like a moment, because what I have to do is YouTube, as soon as I finish, they go and they take my video and they put it in private mode, and I need to go and switch it to public. So just want to let you know that the video didn't disappear. It's just I have to change it. Sharon said, "Oh gosh, did she mess up? What happened? What happened? Is it the spreadsheet?" Oh, Sharon, your name is so small. Hold on, I can fix it. Yeah, you just changed the font size. That's all. It's fixed. All right. So right now, Terry, Becky, Tracy, Froggy, Deborah, and Sharon. Is there anybody else who would like to be added? Sharon, I tell you, don't give me a computer. Oh, Sharon, I meant, I hate when this happens. You think of things that you wanted to ask or say after you turned the video off. I meant to ask you, how did you fare, with that snowstorm and all that happened in the Carolinas? Was that 2 weeks ago? How did you fare with that? Okay, so Carol doesn't want to be added, and I take it my assistant over here doesn't want to. No, she's shaking her head no. Oh, yeah, Cynthia, go ahead. You can, your name can be added. You're here. The only thing, that I ask is that, if you were here at the very beginning and you added your name, that you're here at the end when I do the drawing, that's all. But if you want to be added, we can add you. I'll add you. I'll get you added. I'll add you. Oops, why did it? We don't want italicized. No. There we go. All right, so right now there's Terry, Becky, Tracy, Froggy, Deborah, Sharon, and Cynthia. Is that everybody? Oh, Froggy, you added her too? Oh, she's on there once. Okay. So I think, wow, this thing is really behind. I got everything like cleaned up and I'm watching the video and I'm still cleaning. Let me bring in all my little sticky notes and my pen. You are most welcome, Cynthia. Okay, so I think we have everybody. Okay, so let me unplug my laptop. Let me move these cards. We did good. We did really good on time. All that time spent on going through those cards and me yapping. Yeah, we're an hour and 36 minutes into this as opposed to being 2 hours or more. So, all right. So let me bring in the laptop. Let me first move these lights because we know what's going to happen when I bring this in. Actually, before I bring it in, let me take all the names and let me add them all to my wheel of names. Okay. Let's see. Well, that was quick, Froggy. Oh, yeah. Deborah asked, Terry, did the pizza ever show up? Oh, she did. Yep. Terry's not happy. She kind of throwing the F-bomb without saying the F-bomb. I can just hear Terry's voice as she's saying that. Okay. So let's go to our wheel. And again, you know, just card 1, 2, or 3. And let's go to our wheel and let's spin it. Tracy. Yeah, that would have made me mad too. So Tracy, which card would you like? Would you like the You're the Best, Deep Breath, or the Crafty one? Number 1, okie dokie. All right. So let's see our second. Froggy says, I am Canadian. I would have tipped the dime, a tip, but low enough to say I'm not happy with the service I got. Okay. Our next winner Sharon. Deborah, are you on live chat or are you on, or does it say top chat? Because sometimes that'll do it too. So which card would you like, Sharon? Would you want the spa one that says deep breath or the crafty one that says you deserve all the good things? Number 3, okay. All right, so now our spa card. That will go to Deborah. Okay. Let's go back here. All right, so let me set that aside. Let me take a laptop. Let's get this out of the way, and then we'll kind of get ourselves wrapped up here because it's like dinner time. I mean, I only had a couple little like, whoa, why does my laptop want to fall off this? Um, those breakfast biscuits, that's all I had along with my coffee today. So yeah, I'm hungry. I don't even know what we're eating yet. So again, thank you everybody for taking the time to join me tonight. Yes, happy Valentine's Day to all of you. Um, Even if you don't have like a significant other, it's like, hey, spoil yourself. Or, you can have a Galentine's Day with your girlfriends. So, but everybody have a wonderful, relaxed weekend here. We're supposed to be getting some heavy rain tomorrow and I think into Sunday. So I know where I'm going to be, tomorrow and all that. So, but yeah, Yvonne is going to spend Valentine's Day with her hubby tomorrow, right, Yvonne?
Yes.
I told her she should make a really nice dinner for him, and now she's just laughing at me and chuckling over there. But yeah, so thank you so much, everyone, for joining me again. Next Friday, I'm going to bring in new product that'll be available in March. Very colorful, bright and colorful pattern paper in that one. So, yeah, if you like the video, please give the video a thumbs up. I know all of you guys here are subscribed, but if you are watching the replay, please subscribe. I have lots of video content out there of retired stuff, current stuff, and everything in between. And then hit that little notification bell. It'll let you know when I post the video and also when I go live. So with that, everyone, have a wonderful rest of your evening and a nice relaxing weekend, and happy Valentine's Day, everybody. I will see you later. Bye-bye.